The St. Thomas Academy experimental vehicle team was started 20 years ago by a group of students that wanted to build a go-kart and ended up building a gasoline-powered car that got over 800 miles per gallon. My name is Luke Kohler, and I joined the experimental vehicle team at the end of my freshman year because I thought it would help my college application. But little did I know how much it would really teach me. I saw a team that built amazing vehicles and traveled all over the world. It looked very glamorous. From Texas to Detroit New York City Missouri and Boston. What I wasn't prepared to see was the amount of work that the team put into their projects. Last year, the team worked over 2,800 hours of after-school time into our current car. The work is not nearly as glamorous as I thought it would be. Beginning with a blank screen and some wild notebook sketches, we eventually settled on a design.
No. Ooh, no. Okay, all right, that looks pretty good.
And it quickly evolved into the physical and very dirty construction of the car. What he said was, my mom was going to be so mad if I get my uniform dirty. After 7 months of unnoticed work and a long list of epic failures, the mostly finished car rolls out of the garage and onto a trailer for trips to the 3M Automotive Test Facility.
Go faster.
No, go slower.
Wait, how fast are you going?
Like most teams, there was a mad rush to wrap up loose ends before we headed to the Shell Ecomarathon Americas in Detroit, Michigan. After the rigors of scrutineering had passed, the pleasant weather allowed all the cars to complete their efficiency runs. The UrbanConcept teams waited patiently to see if they would receive an invite to race in the Regional Drivers' World Championship race. And there was much rejoicing. Time passed very quickly as all the teams lined up for the Drivers' World Championship Americas. Of course, the weather didn't get the memo about the importance of the event. Even with the poor weather, our car, driver, and support crew performed better than hoped and earned the team a trip to Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park in London for the Drivers' World Championship. The travel took us from our home airport in Minnesota to Iceland. Mr. Westlake's not smiling because that coffee cost him $10. To the home of the Tower Bridge in London. After the monsoon rains in Detroit, we were greeted by tropical heat and diversity of language in London.
Hola.
Buongiorno.
Guten Tag.
We had heard that teams start lining up for things very early in Europe, so we drew straws and sent a contingent under the cover of darkness to push the car into line.
It's midnight at home. It's 6 a.m.
With the required technical inspection, efficiency runs, and brake tests out of the way, it was time for the Shell Ecomarathon Drivers' World Championship. Of course, there were lots of questions from the media.
So, Alex, how did you do it last year's DWC?
We broke the car last year.
That's not good news. And how do you think you'll do it this year's DWC?
Well, we prepared better, and I think we have a really good shot this year.
That's good news.
Thank you.
After the very competitive qualifying runs, our student director reviewed the race plan with our driver and sent the car to the start line.
What should I do?
Drive fast and don't break it.
Sounds like a plan.
After a solid start and an exciting first lap, our car was right on schedule. Unfortunately, so was the rain and the red flags. It wasn't long before questions started.
Did we win? Should we recharge? Should we put more Rain-X on?
Do I have time to go to the bathroom?
What's for dinner tonight?
After a long wait, we were excited to hear that the top 3 teams would all be invited to Italy, and there was much rejoicing. So here I am, and that's our story of how we built a World Championship car. Looking back, I realized that I learned much more than just how to build a car. I learned that the process is much more important than the product. I learned the importance of teamwork and perseverance. I learned that nothing works on the first try ever, and that it's okay to fail. And I learned that companies like Shell and Scuderia Ferrari care about and make a huge difference for students in schools by sponsoring programs like the Shell Ecomarathon. Thank you for all that you do.